Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. We're going to explore how Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is revolutionizing ETL processes. The title of our presentation is Revolutionizing ETL with Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2, and our subtitle highlights a unified, scalable, and collaborative data transformation ecosystem. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the key features, benefits, and how this new approach can transform your data workflows. Let's get started. Today, I want to introduce you to Fabric Dataflows Gen 2, which is truly a game changer in the world of ETL. Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 marks a significant leap forward, shifting away from the old, manual, and often fragmented processes that many of us have been used to. Instead, it offers a unified, modern platform that streamlines data transformation and movement. What's really exciting is how it reimagines the entire data flow, from the source all the way to the insights, by integrating ETL directly within the Fabric ecosystem. This deep integration means we can achieve more seamless and efficient data handling. This shift addresses some of the biggest frustrations we've faced with traditional ETL tools, things like slow refresh times, maintenance headaches, and difficulty in integrating data across different layers. With Fabric Dataflows Gen 2, we can expect faster updates, easier management, and a more connected approach to analytics and storage. Overall, this new approach is about making our data processes more agile, more reliable, and ultimately, more aligned with the modern demands of data-driven decision-making. Let's take a closer look at the problem with traditional ETL tools. First, they often provide limited error insights, which makes it really challenging to identify and fix issues quickly. When problems arise, you don't always get enough information to troubleshoot effectively. Secondly, these tools rely on outdated processes that can lead to inefficiencies and operational challenges. They weren't designed for the fast-paced, data-driven environment we operate in today, which can cause delays and bottlenecks. Another important point is that traditional ETL tools were built for batch processing. Think of overnight jobs, rather than supporting the near real-time data refreshes modern businesses need now. This limits their usefulness in a fast-moving context. They also depend on disconnected refresh schedules. This means that updates aren't always synchronized, and errors can compound, leading to frequent delays and bottlenecks in data workflows. Finally, these tools often suffer from fragmented workflows that require manual scripting and constant maintenance. This adds complexity and increases the risk of errors, making the entire process less efficient and more prone to issues. Overall, these limitations highlight the need for more modern, integrated solutions that can keep pace with today's data demands. Let's take a closer look at the current state of ETL within the Microsoft ecosystem. Historically, ETL processes have been quite siloed. You might have Power Query scripts in Power BI, pipelines in Data Factory, and SQL warehouse transformations, all operating independently of each other. This fragmentation can lead to some significant challenges. For example, it often results in duplication of logic, where the same transformation steps are recreated in multiple places. It can also cause version mismatches, when updates are made in one area but not others, and scaling becomes increasingly difficult as each component needs to be managed separately. This situation means teams often have to maintain parallel processes for the same data, which not only wastes effort, but also introduces the risk of inconsistent results. Managing these dependencies can become quite complex, making it harder to ensure data accuracy and to streamline workflows. Ultimately, this disconnected approach hampers efficiency and agility, which is why the upcoming shift towards Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is so exciting. It promises to revolutionize how we handle ETL in this ecosystem. Let's talk about some of the key challenges we face with current ETL processes. Fragmented workflows and inefficiencies can really hold back innovation. When our resources are tied up fixing or managing these broken processes, it leaves less time and energy for building new solutions that could drive growth. Troubleshooting is another big hurdle. Often, We have to jump across multiple environments to identify and resolve issues, which just drains more resources and slows down progress. Maintaining different versions of the same transformation not only inflates costs, but also raises the risk of errors creeping in. This cost inflation and error risk can be a real headache. Plus, a significant chunk of development time, sometimes up to half, is spent on patching, rerunning, or reworking jobs instead of creating new, innovative solutions. All these issues highlight the need for a more streamlined, efficient approach, something that Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 aims to deliver. Let's take a closer look at the rise of the Microsoft Fabric ecosystem and how it's transforming ETL processes. On this slide, we're focusing on how the introduction of Dataflows Gen 2 is revolutionizing ETL within Fabric. Previously, there was a gap that limited how widely and efficiently the platform could be adopted. This gap meant that ETL wasn't fully integrated, which led to reliance on manual exports, linked tables, and brittle scripts, methods that were time-consuming and error-prone. Now, with Fabric Lakehouse and warehouses, Microsoft has unified storage and processing, making data management much more streamlined. This integration is a significant step forward. Additionally, Microsoft has expanded the platform by making Power BI the default analytics layer, enabling users to analyze and visualize data more seamlessly. All these developments are crucial because they address the earlier challenges and open up new possibilities for platform adoption and efficiency. They also align with our overall theme of how Microsoft Fabric is evolving into a comprehensive, integrated data ecosystem. Let's dive into what Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 really means for our ETL processes. At its core, this new version is designed to be scalable and seamlessly integrated, making it easier to build and maintain complex workflows. The redesign focuses on creating workflows that are not only more maintainable, but also scalable as your data needs grow, all while ensuring they work smoothly within the broader Fabric ecosystem. One of the standout features is the unified and reusable transformation logic. This means that the same logic can be applied across different services without needing multiple versions or custom bridges. It simplifies management and reduces duplication, saving both time and effort. Another important point is that data flows are now considered core Fabric resources. This elevates their status to be on par with lakehouse, warehouse, and semantic models. By doing so, it emphasizes how central and vital these data flows are to the overall data architecture and operations. Finally, this redesign represents a fundamental shift in how ETL is handled within the Fabric ecosystem. It's a major step forward in making ETL more robust, integrated, and aligned with modern data strategies. All in all, Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is about transforming ETL from a complex, siloed task into a streamlined, core component of your data environment. Let's take a closer look at how Gen 2 is revolutionizing ETL with Microsoft Fabric Dataflows. One of the key benefits is that it provides a single source of truth, which helps prevent shadow processes and data inconsistencies. When transformation rules are updated, those changes propagate instantly across the entire ecosystem, ensuring everyone is working with the most current data and logic. This immediate update capability is crucial for maintaining data accuracy and trust. Additionally, having one single source of truth means that Lakehouse, Warehouse, and Power BI all reference the same canonical transformation definition. This consistency ensures that downstream services are aligned, reducing errors and confusion. And by maintaining just one canonical transformation definition, Gen 2 eliminates duplication, which simplifies management and enhances data integrity. Overall, this approach helps us achieve more reliable, consistent, and efficient data processes across the board. Let's take a closer look at how Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is revolutionizing ETL processes by significantly improving maintainability and governance. This new approach helps reduce manual overhead, meaning less repetitive work for your team, and makes it easier to keep track of changes and ensure consistency. It also enhances auditability, allowing for better tracking of data transformations and compliance, which is crucial for meeting enterprise governance standards. One of the key benefits is how the ETL lifecycle management is now integrated seamlessly from authoring through to production. This integration empowers teams to manage changes more systematically, reducing errors and increasing efficiency. Additionally, the Gen 2 architecture enables shared governance, meaning multiple teams can collaborate within a unified framework, supported by built-in deployment pipelines. This not only streamlines the deployment process, but also ensures consistency across the organization. Finally, it's designed for scalability, supporting easier scaling that's independent of storage limitations. This flexibility means your ETL processes can grow with your data needs without becoming a bottleneck. All of these improvements align with the overarching goal of creating a more robust, manageable, and scalable data environment that supports your enterprise's governance standards and operational agility. Now, let's take a closer look at the Gen 2 core architecture and how it's truly revolutionizing ETL with Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2. One of the key features is the collaborative authoring environment. This setup really encourages teamwork, making it easier for multiple users to work together seamlessly. It also boosts productivity because everyone can contribute and iterate in real time. Plus, it's integrated with Fabric's deployment pipelines, which means deploying and managing workflows becomes much more streamlined. Moving on, Gen 2 comes with a broad set of connectors. These connectors are essential because they enable smooth integration with a wide variety of data sources and systems. Whether you're connecting to cloud services, on-premises databases, or other data platforms, these connectors make the process straightforward and efficient. Another important component is the managed staging layer. Think of it as a temporary workspace for your data. It allows for efficient handling and processing of data before it moves into the next stages of your pipeline. This layer helps improve performance and ensures your data is well managed during transformation. Finally, Gen 2 features an independent compute engine. This is a game changer because it operates separately from storage, which means it can be scaled independently based on your needs. This separation ensures optimized performance and flexibility, allowing your data workflows to run smoothly even as demands grow. Together, these features form a powerful architecture that makes ETL processes faster, more collaborative, and more scalable, perfectly aligned with our goal to enhance data management and analytics. Let's take a closer look at how we can compute separation for performance scaling. This slide highlights how Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is truly revolutionizing the way we handle ETL processes. One of the key benefits is the flexibility it offers, enabling us to fine-tune our ETL performance based on the specific workload needs. This means we can optimize resources to get the best performance without unnecessary waste. Dynamic scaling plays a crucial role here. It helps us prevent performance collisions, which can happen when too many processes compete for the same resources, and it also helps avoid cost spikes by adjusting resources only when needed. This on-demand approach ensures we're using our compute resources efficiently. Another important point is that compute resources are adjustable on the fly. For instance, we can scale up during heavy data processing jobs and scale back down once the work is complete. This flexibility not only improves efficiency, but also controls costs effectively. Finally, by decoupling compute from storage, Gen 2 allows us to scale transformation workloads dynamically without incurring additional storage costs. This separation gives us the ability to handle larger or more complex data processing tasks seamlessly, supporting scalable and cost-effective data management. All of these features tie into the overall goal of making our data workflows more flexible, efficient, and cost-effective. Now, let's take a closer look at how managed staging for temporary data is transforming the way we handle ETL processes with Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2. One of the key benefits here is the improved management of transient data, which directly enhances processing speed. When data moves through the pipeline more efficiently, everything happens faster, and that means better overall performance. This efficiency doesn't just speed things up, It also helps reduce storage costs because we're managing temporary data more effectively. Plus, it eliminates the need for manual cleanup, which can be time-consuming and error-prone. A major advancement with Gen 2 is its automatic purging of temporary data after it's no longer needed. Unlike Gen 1, where intermediate data would linger and take up space, Gen 2 cleans itself up, keeping storage lean and cost-effective. Furthermore, managed staging provides a dedicated temporary workspace for transformations like joins and pivots. Think of it as a scratchpad where data can be transformed and manipulated without cluttering the main data environment. This approach not only makes complex transformations smoother, but also keeps the entire process tidy and manageable. All these improvements come together to make our ETL workflows more efficient, cost-effective, and easier to maintain, aligning perfectly with our goal of building smarter, more agile data solutions. Now, let's take a closer look at the benefits of the modular architecture in Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2. First, this modular design really transforms how we approach ETL processes. Instead of dealing with a fragile monolithic system, we now have a manageable, evolving system that can adapt and grow more easily. This makes our workflows much more resilient. Next, the modular architecture significantly enhances integration with other Fabric services. This means that different parts of our data ecosystem can work more seamlessly together, creating a more cohesive and efficient environment. Another key point is risk reduction. Because the design isolates different components, it minimizes the chances of failures cascading throughout the system. If one part encounters an issue, it doesn't necessarily bring down the entire pipeline. Also, by separating responsibilities within the system, maintenance becomes much simpler. We can troubleshoot, update, or optimize specific modules without disrupting the whole process. Finally, the Gen 2 modular design allows for independent upgrades of various components, like compute, staging, connectors, and authoring tools. This flexibility means we can improve or replace parts of the system on their own schedule, keeping everything up to date without unnecessary downtime. Altogether, these benefits highlight how this modular approach is truly revolutionizing ETL, making it more robust, flexible, and easier to manage in our evolving data landscape. Now, let's look at how Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is revolutionizing ETL processes through seamless integration across Fabric services. One of the key advantages is that it eliminates the risk of schema mismatches or refresh failures. This is achieved by providing a smooth, integrated data pipeline that works flawlessly across all Fabric services. In essence, the unified data flow acts like a single, consistent pipeline, ensuring that clean and reliable data is delivered simultaneously to all services, whether it's Lakehouse, Warehouse, or Power BI. This native integration is critical because it guarantees data consistency and removes the common issues that can occur with multiple data exports or scripting. Instead of dealing with intermediate steps, data flows in Gen 2 directly feed these services without extra hassle, making the entire data management process more efficient, reliable, and streamlined. This approach really underscores how Fabric is making data integrations simpler and more robust, supporting a more unified and trustworthy data environment. Now, let's talk about how we are revolutionizing ETL with Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 through a unified refresh and data consistency approach. When all teams work from the same accurate data, it really fosters better collaboration and builds trust across the organization. This unified method ensures everyone is on the same page with data quality. By minimizing manual reconciliation, teams can spend more time on analysis rather than fixing data discrepancies. This means fewer errors and more focus on deriving insights. Additionally, when we update data classifications or business rules, these changes automatically propagate across all connected workloads. This automatic update process guarantees consistency across all data outputs, which is crucial for reliable reporting. Another key aspect is the unified refresh schedule and shared transformation logic. Instead of multiple schedules and varied processes, everything runs on a single timetable. This helps prevent data drift, where reports and models become out of sync, so our analytics stay accurate and reliable. Altogether, this approach not only streamlines data management, but also enhances trust and efficiency across all teams working with our data. Now, let's look at how Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is truly revolutionizing ETL processes through collaboration and version control integration. One of the key aspects is the systematic deployment of changes. This means we can deploy updates in a controlled manner, similar to best practices in software development. It helps us maintain stability and ensures quality every step of the way. Another important point is conducting code reviews on transformation logic. This allows us to maintain consistency and catch issues early, which keeps our workflows reliable and high quality. It's like having a peer review process, but for data transformations. Safe experimentation is also a big part of this new approach. Teams can work in isolated branches, meaning they can test new ideas or changes without affecting the main workflow. Once tested, these changes can be safely merged back in. And speaking of merging, Gen 2 integrates Git version control right into the data flow layer. This makes branching, committing, merging, and peer reviewing seamless, just like in traditional software development. It's a game changer for collaboration, enabling data teams to work more efficiently and confidently. All of these features connect back to the overall theme of bringing software development best practices into ETL processes, making data management more reliable, collaborative, and agile. Let's talk about how ETL has become a true team effort with Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2. First, it's important to recognize that ETL development is now accessible to both analysts and engineers. This means we're fostering a more inclusive environment where different roles can collaborate and bring innovative ideas to the table. One of the key strengths of this platform is that every action taken during the development process is tracked. This creates full audit trails, ensuring transparency and accountability. You always know what changes were made, by whom, and when, which is critical for maintaining data integrity and trust. Another important aspect is safe experimentation. The platform supports a secure environment where contributors can test and try new approaches without risking the stability of your data pipelines. This encourages innovation and continuous improvement. Finally, Gen 2 enables multi-contributor development, meaning team members can work together seamlessly. It's designed to support collaborative workflows, making teamwork smoother and more effective. Altogether, these features highlight how Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 transforms ETL from a solitary task into a dynamic, shared effort, driving faster, more reliable, and more innovative data solutions. Let's take a closer look at how Fabric Streaming handles real-time data. Gen 2 supports both real-time data ingestion and processing, alongside traditional batch jobs, all within the same unified data flow framework. This means we can seamlessly work with different types of data without switching tools or environments. Streaming data from sources like IoT sensors or transaction streams can be fed directly into our lakehouse, data warehouses, or dashboards. This real-time flow ensures that our analytics and insights are always up to date. Whether data arrives in seconds or as part of scheduled batch runs, everything stays synchronized across all layers. This capability is a game changer because it allows us to react quickly to new information, maintain data consistency, and support real-time decision-making, all within the same platform. It truly exemplifies how Fabric is revolutionizing ETL processes by making them more agile and integrated. Now, let's talk about resource control and cost efficiency. When working with Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2, it's important to remember that you can scale back compute power after completing heavy jobs. This helps optimize both performance and your budget. By adjusting resources based on actual workload needs, you avoid wasting capacity and reduce costs. One key concept here is optimized performance combined with budget awareness. For example, teams can temporarily allocate higher compute power for intensive tasks. This ensures that during resource-heavy jobs, performance remains smooth and efficient. Another important point is on-demand compute scaling. With Gen 2, you can match your resource allocation precisely to what's needed, avoiding the pitfalls of fixed-tier models. This means no overprovisioning or paying for idle capacity, which can significantly cut costs. In essence, this approach provides you with precise resource allocation, scaling up when necessary and scaling back afterward, making your workflows both powerful and cost-effective. It's all about aligning your resources with the real demands of your workloads, which is a core part of the overall strategy to make ETL processes smarter and more efficient. Now, let's move on to how Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is truly revolutionizing ETL processes. One of the key benefits is predictable cost and performance tuning. For finance teams, this means they can now enjoy transparent, value-based billing, which makes budgeting and cost management much easier. It's about providing clarity and trust in how expenses are calculated. This predictability also extends to technical teams, who can confidently meet SLAs because they have a clear understanding of performance expectations. It's all about aligning costs with actual ETL usage, so there are no surprises or inflated estimates based on worst-case scenarios. And when it comes to performance tuning, Gen 2 offers a significant advantage. Instead of relying on complex code changes, teams can now perform precise performance tuning through configuration-driven scaling. This makes adjustments faster, more reliable, and more efficient, ultimately helping everyone work smarter and more predictably. Now, let's talk about how versioning and rollback capabilities are transforming the way we work with data flows in Microsoft Fabric Dataflows Gen 2. First, Gen 2 reduces our dependence on individual data heroes by making flow history accessible and manageable for everyone on the team. This means that instead of relying on a single expert to keep track of changes, the entire team can view and manage flow history, promoting collaboration and transparency. This leads us to the importance of enhanced audit trails. With Gen 2, we can support clean and comprehensive audit trails, so every change is visible and easy to review. This visibility makes it simpler for teams to understand what has changed over time and ensures accountability. Another powerful feature is effortless rollback to previous versions. If something goes wrong, like a schema change or an error, you can easily revert to a prior stable version, minimizing disruptions and keeping your data pipelines running smoothly. And to keep everything well organized, every change in Gen 2 is tracked through Git commits. This means you can review the transformation logic changes over time, giving you a clear historical record of your development process. Altogether, these capabilities not only make managing data flows more reliable and transparent, but also align perfectly with our goal of making data management more efficient and collaborative for everyone involved. Now, let's look at how these changes impact our ETL team's productivity and governance. First, controlled release processes are a game changer. They help minimize unplanned outages by ensuring that all updates are thoroughly tested before going live. This aligns perfectly with our enterprise standards, making our deployments more reliable and predictable. Next, by improving deployment reliability, we reduce our dependence on individual data heroes who hold critical knowledge. Instead, we foster better team collaboration and democratize control, allowing everyone to participate confidently in the process. This approach also enhances transparency through clear historical records of all changes made. That makes troubleshooting much easier and simplifies rollback procedures when needed, giving us peace of mind. Furthermore, multiple team members can work safely in parallel thanks to built-in audit trails. This eliminates the risk of overwriting each other's work and significantly reduces errors, making collaboration smoother and more efficient. And to bring it all together, Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 integrates Git directly into the data flow layer. This means we can leverage version control, branching, and peer reviews, just like in modern software development. It's a powerful way to ensure quality, track changes precisely, and support collaborative workflows across the team. Altogether, these innovations are revolutionizing how we manage ETL processes, making them more reliable, collaborative, and aligned with the best practices in software development. Now, as we reach the final slide, let's look to the future and consider what lies ahead. Gen 2 is not just an upgrade, it's truly the future of data transformation. It helps us eliminate redundant data flows and reduces logic discrepancies, making our processes more streamlined and reliable. Microsoft Fabric's vision for data transformation is clear. Gen 2 sets a new standard for fully integrated and collaborative ETL workflows. This means we're redefining expectations and making older, more manual methods obsolete. Looking ahead, the concept of future-proof ETL integration becomes essential. With compute separation and managed staging, we can precisely scale resources to match workload demands. Whether it's routine tasks or peak processing periods, we can support them all without the need for long-term overprovisioning. This approach ensures efficiency and cost control. Ultimately, Fabric Dataflows Gen 2 is transforming ETL within Microsoft Fabric itself. It moves us away from fragmented, manual workflows toward a unified, scalable, and maintainable ecosystem. This is all about creating a future-ready environment that can grow and adapt with our needs.